Okay, exercise 907, box and whisker plots. So, what a box and whisker plot does, there are 4 definite sections to a box and whisker plot. You've got these whiskers here, and you've got this box here. And there are 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Now, notice it's not symmetrical. Sometimes they can be symmetrical, sometimes they're not. But what each section is, there are 4 different definite sections. There's a bottom 25%, and then this is another 25%, this is another 25%, and this is another 25%. What the box and whisker plot actually does, it plots 5 values for you. The first thing you've got at the end of the first whisker is your lowest score, all right? Then you've got a line, and the box is between Q1 and Q3 with the median in between. So we've got the lowest score at the end of the whisker. Then we have this box here, and the box is Q1, then the median, which is Q2, and then Q3. And then we've got the top whisker with the highest score up the top. Now, the best way to do this is to actually practice them. So, lowest score Q1, median, Q3 forms the box, and your upper extreme. So what the box and whisker plot does is it displays the quartiles, okay? Now, the box represents the middle 50% of scores because you've got 25% there, that's 25 and 25. The box is the middle 50, okay? And the whiskers are the lowest 25% and the highest 25% of scores. So the box and whisker plot gives what's called a 5-number summary. Lowest score, Q1, Q2, the median, the upper quartile, and the highest score. Best thing to do is to actually do a question here. So here's question 2. It says 15 job applicants took a short general knowledge multiple choice quiz. Their times in seconds to complete this quiz is shown below. Graph this data on a box and whisker plot. Before you can do that, we need to know what the lowest score is, the lower quartile, median, upper quartile, highest score. What should we do?
Rewrite them in order.
Fantastic. Rewrite them in order from smallest to largest. So we've got 15. Great. I'm going to cross them off as I do them.
22.
All right, now I'm going to, can you do that? And I'll turn the video back on when you're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 scores. So remember, we're going to 15 scores. How are we going to do this? Which one's the median? What do I do? How many, where, and where? How am I going to split them? First, I find the median. What do I do? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 in the middle. So 15 scores. Put 7 on the left, 7 on the right, 1 in the middle. That's your median. Okay? And now for the lowest set of scores, we've got to divide them up. How are we going to divide them up? Yeah, we're going to go 3, 3, and 1. Sorry, I need to redo that. Oh, it's not too bad. And 3, 3, and 1. So remember, we did this before. So all we're doing today, we're just introducing the diagram. All right? So I've got 7 scores here. Remember, this 38 is not counted in either data set. So we go 1, 2, 3, that one. So 4, 1, 2, 3. That makes sense, doesn't it? So if I cover all these up and I've got 7 scores for my lower half of scores, my median would be my 4th one. So I've got 1, 2, 3, this score here, 1, 2, 3. And what about my upper quartile? What's that? So that's Q1. This is my median. So I've got 1, 2, 3, circle, 1, 2, 3. So that's Q3. Okay? So now we can draw our box and whisker plot. Okay, let's start. The lowest score, what's the lowest? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the 5 number, or I'm going to circle them. What's my lowest score?
15.
So that's and my highest score is 61. So these are the things we need to, so we put a little dot, sorry, I'm going to put a little dot here for the 15, my lowest score. All good? And then, remember, it's got to look like this. So when I hit Q1, I need a line, and median a line, and Q3 a line. So what's Q1? It's 34. This scale is going up by, it's the worst scale actually, it's going up by 2.5. But this is the scale, I don't know where I got this, what you could do is get a ruler and measure that. Look, I know that the middle is 35, so 34 would be roughly about here. Okay, so we put a line use a ruler, please. So that's 34. That's 32 and a half. It'd be, yeah, like that. Next one is 38. We're going to have the same problem again. That's 37 and a half. So a bit after that is my median, 38. The next one is 46. Now, if that's 45, that's 47 and a half. 46 is about here. Whoops. You should be using a ruler. Okay. And my last dot is at 61. If that's 60, 65, 62 and a half, a little bit after 60, 61. Now, we should be using a ruler. So the whiskers, so we've got Q1, the median, Q3. You should really use a ruler to do this, okay? All right, and what I could do as well, to get some nice divisions maybe between 30 and 40, it's a bit hard. Yeah, whatever, just estimate. Okay, so we've got the lowest score here, lowest score, highest score. See, that's at 15. This is at 61. And this is my middle 50%. So even though these sections are different, 25% of the scores are in here. You see that? 25% of the scores are here, 25% of the scores are in there, and 25% of the scores lie there. Where do you think the scores are most concentrated? In here especially. See how close they are? But this is the middle 50% there. Okay, so box and whisker plot is a really good visual, gives you a good visual spread of the scores. You don't have to write the 25% on when you're doing it, but I'm just showing it to you just to make it stand out. Lower score, higher score, you actually don't normally label it. It'll just look like you'll just have, but you will have a scale underneath, and that scale needs to be uniform. So that's really important with a box and whisker plot, that the scale is uniform underneath, but you do not need to label it. Like you don't have to put Q1, median, Q3. Do you want me to rub them off? I can take them off, but that's where they are, all right? So it should actually look like this. Nothing on it really. That's what it looks like. You should know lowest, Q1, median, Q3, highest, okay? But it gives you a good spread of the scores. The next one, find the 5-number summary for this data in this stem and leaf plot for ages of people at the cinema, and draw a box and whisker plot for them. Okay, so you're going to have to work out how many scores there are and divide it all up. Work out your median, your Q1 and your Q3. Got 24 scores. We will put 12 on the left, 12 on the right, and the median is there. The lower half of scores will divide into 6 and 6, and the upper half will divide into 6 scores and 6 scores. So can we now mark where the median, Q1 and Q3 will be here? We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to be a median. Some people decide to do them all in the one go, but sometimes that's a bit dangerous. Then you can come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good. There's your median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this was a good one because there were it wasn't an odd number of scores, and I didn't need to pick anything out. But in the first question I had to pick out the median. You know here, that median was not in the upper or the lower half of scores because it was 7, 7, 1. You okay with that? This one, I don't take any scores out. So what have we got? What's my Q1? 28.5. My median is 36. My Q3, yeah. And then my lowest score is 14, and my highest score is 69. All right. All right, let's go. Ready to plot? Excellent. So lowest, 14. Oh, sorry about this scale. That's 15. That's 12 and a half. 14 is probably about here. This time I'll use a ruler. So 14 is going to be about there. And then we've got Q1's next at 28 and a half. So if that's 26, 7.5 there, just a bit more. Going to go about there, 28.5. So there's my whisker, and here comes the box. The median is at 36, so 30, 35. Of course, in the exam, you're going to have a better scale than this. Sometimes just a bit hard to get it all straight. Wait a sec. So we've got lowest score Q1 median. The highest, Q3 is 44.5, which is just before 45. And the highest score is 69, 67.5, 69. Now, 69 will be just before 70 here. Okay. Okay, so there's your whisker and your box. Your box represents the middle 50% of scores. The interquartile range is through here. The bigger these whiskers, see these scores are spread out here, or it's because of this outlier here. 69 is a possible outlier there. Okay? So, and it shows you where your scores are most clustered. Your scores are most clustered through here because they're the smallest. See, that is 25% of scores. Can you see how these, we've got more data in these columns, showing that the scores are more clustered between 28.5 and say 44.5. See how the scores are all clustered around here? That's shown in that diagram. You can see here that the top 25% of scores are fairly spread out, and it's probably because of this outlier contributes to that as well, all right? The 69. Question 4, box and whisker plots. This one's drawn up and down, which you don't normally see. They tend to be sideways. So it shows, the number of cigarettes smoked per day by a sample of 60 smokers who are trying to quit. Doesn't look like they're doing a good job. What is the median number of cigarettes? Do you want to try and answer those questions? Girls, of course, this is the lowest score. Do you see? Because it's got the smallest number. And that's the highest score. But be careful because you're going to need a ruler here to read off that lowest score. And I'm thinking it's not...
I think it's a 2.
No.
3, 4.
Median number of cigarettes smoked per day, the median. Wouldn't this be Q1, the median, Q3? So what's the median? 20. And what's the interquartile range? Remember that's Q3 minus Q1, which is, that's definitely 25 minus what?
25.
I'm going to go 14. Yep, minus 14, which is 11. If we're calling that one 14, I think we should call this lowest extreme. I would accept 3 or 4. It's probably a bit closer to 4. The lower extreme is 4. And how many people, notice there's not one person that smoked none. Now,
60 smokers.
Yes.
Not non-smokers, just smokers.
That's right, who are trying to, yes. So it says how many people smoked between 20 and 25 cigarettes a day? How many people? You might not be able to tell me how many people. Tell me what percentage.
25.
That's 25% of, now read the question, how many people were sampled?
60.
So, it's a quarter of 60. So between 20 and 25, that's 25% of the graph. Quarter of 60, which is 15 people. And how many, so 15 people, that represents 15 people. In other words, girls, each section represents 15 people. 15 people, 15, 15, 15. Because each section is 25% of the sample. Okay, how many people smoked fewer than 20? Now 20 is at the median, it's half. So it's 50% of 60, which is 30. This box and whisker plot represents the annual wages times $1,000 of the administration staff at a TAFE college. You know how they might say you earn 70K, 65K? That K is 1,000. So this would be like 40, it's got wage times 1,000. You often, if you're looking at a job advertisement, it'll say 50K, meaning 50,000, all right? So it says one of the wages is an outlier which has not been included in the box and whisker plot. Well, we can see that outlier. What is the outlier? We need to make sure we know what this is going up by, and it does look like 75 because that's 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, and this dot looks like it's halfway between, doesn't it? 75 is definite. So the outlier that's not included in the box and whisker plot is 75. All right, you keep going. We'll check it in a minute. 75,000. Please be careful. You could lose a mark in an exam for missing out on something like that. Okay, what is the median wage? It does look like it's halfway between 40 and 42. So it's 41,000. Excluding the outlier, what is the range of wages? So you can do that, and then you can do it including the outlier. So excluding the outlier, what is the range of wages? It's 59,000 minus 17,000, which is 42,000. Including the outlier, what is the range of wages? So including the outlier, 75,000 minus 17,000, I think it's that, 58,000, yep. And it says between what two amounts are the middle 50% of wages? The middle 50%.
28 and 51.
Yes? No, between the middle 50%. Remember, each section is 25%. So we got 25, 25, 25, 25. Here is our middle 50%. So it's between,
28.
yes, 28,000 and 51,000. And what percent of the staff earn less than 28,000? Remember, each section's 25%. So we don't actually know how many people in this one. So the percentage of staff that earn less than 28,000 is 25% of the staff. Okay.